Hey, happy hump day. Good Lord. I've only had one beer. Yeah, I've got to be back into work in like 9 hours. Um, yeah, this last couple of weeks has been really weird. The work has not been consistent. It's been like 4 hours here, 8 hours there, 12 hours here, 14 hours there. Then the next day it's 4 hours. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Anyway, I am like completely all over the place. And here's the topic of today: a woman in a man's world. I work a very male dominating job. And when females get into this environment, 9 times out of 10, they end up getting involved with somebody affiliated in this environment. Now, we've had a few in-house relationships, well, sort of. We had, one dump truck driver got involved with one of the mechanics that our facility is contracted with. They ended up getting married. We have another mixer operator who's involved with a mechanic, that kind of thing. I was involved with another mixer operator for, a couple of years. And that relationship was so toxic that I basically have vowed I do not want to be involved with anybody that I work with. And I had said that prior to ever getting involved with this dude. But when I got involved with the dude, it was during COVID, and basically work was our social life. Vice versa. Because that's all we had. Because everything was on lockdown. So, put it into perspective. Pretty sure there's a lot of workplace romances for those that have, were working during all of that chaos. I'm pretty sure a few healthy relationships had spawned out of that, but mine in particular, straight up shit show. So, for the past 2 years since that escape from him, quite literally, he pulled a coyote and I came out the roadrunner. I've basically been single, and I've been doing the shadow work, and I've been looking back on a lot of the situations, and God has a sense of humor and puts an individual in my path who, he's not a bad looking guy. He's my age. His nuances are so aggressive that it irks the fuck out of me to have a conversation with him longer than about 10 minutes on the phone. Him being in person, I've seen a side of him, but his nuance is just destroying my interest so badly. Now, a little bit of a timeline. He had pursued me over a year and a half ago, and I basically was like, nope. One, because of the nuance, and two, because he rides his motorcycle like a maniac. I have a bagger. I am not aggressive on my bike. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to go no-handed across Kansas when the shit is fucking straight during the day, hit cruise and, take a break. Because the arms, the circulation. Anywho. Yes, I have skills. And my bike is very balanced. And I'm privileged enough to be able to do that on that particular motorcycle. Now, this guy's particular personality type of nuance is, it's almost as though he's like insecure and he has something to prove. And I am one, this is where the cognitive dissonance comes in. You meet somebody and you got a lot in common, but there's that element of, okay, if you and your motivation and your ambition and whatnot, and your obvious interest in me, because he pissed me off to the point where I blocked him at one point. Like, I had him on black for like a year. And then I unblocked him once because we had a job. We were at a job together, and I needed to, like, kind of let him know, shit, He was right behind me. So, like, hey, this is a crazy world, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, he's aggressive. He's very aggressive. He rides his bike aggressive. His attitude is aggressive. His nuance is aggressive. His manner of speaking is very aggressive. And that is something that is just deterring me from having involvement. Now, I have another friend of mine. I don't know if he's involved with anybody or, whatnot. On the level of attractiveness, I'm not really attracted to the guy, but I love his demeanor. I love his personality. I love his attentiveness. I love his caring heart. And he's shown it. So I'm kind of like, I feel like I'm in a tug of war, the choice-wise. Now, the one that I really appreciate him on a general level, I don't talk to him every day. Shit, I don't talk to him once a month. And I probably should. Because he's actually more my type of person. Laid back, chill, not aggressive, not getting all worked up about stuff. I've gotten to a point in my life and in my job where, there's particular assignments where I'm like, oh God, this is going to be hell. Oh, fuck my life, right? And then I get there and it's like, oh, that wasn't so bad. Whereas, like, 5 years ago, I'd have been, like, chewing my fingers off. Thinking I was going to die, Do I... I desire to have somebody in my life, but I desire to have somebody in my life who is not going to be so overwhelmingly up my butt. Even if it was a live-in situation. But be able to still know at the end of the day that that individual still that cared, right? You see, with the ex, the nefarious Cluster B milkshake, he would be up my butthole all day long, texting me stuff, love bombing this, meme that, blah, blah, blah. And it was fun, communicating that way. Because trying to talk on the phone in this industry is near to impossible. It's a fucking headache. It really, it's too much going on, Contractors communicate, trucks acting stupid like my truck today. It totally had, like, a complete glitch fest. And the dude that I was pouring for used to actually drive these things. And I was like, dude, were you not listening? He's like, what? I said, the fucking thing is acting nuts. It won't move. I got to shut it off in order to change gears. I got mechanics on the way. Patience. Oh, is it really that bad? What, you don't fucking believe me? You've dealt with this shit before. Yeah. Just do what you got to do. I said, I'm trying not to kill you. I'm trying to put it on the ground pretty even. Just get me off this job site. You always pick the shittiest fucking arenas. He's like, I ain't worked in them in like 6 months. I was like, because you don't need to. You're retired. Why are you even doing this? And someone asked a favor. Oh, whatever. Anywho. So, yeah, I got out of there. Mechanics came. He's like, I have no idea. I said, me neither. Yeah, it wouldn't go forward. Wouldn't go back. I had to turn it off to get it to neutral. Good times. Anyway, so I was talking to the very offensive, the aggressive guy on the phone. And I was like, what did they say that yours, when you did yours, what did they say, as far as what was wrong with it? And he said, shift module. Sometimes it's inside the guts of the transmission. Sometimes there's a component box on the outside. He said it just depends on what generation the truck is, where the make wanted to put it. Anyway, so I was like, well, that doesn't solve my problem, but I hope it's not that. Anyway, I had one truck that had that. It was on the outside, and it used to get water soaked, and it would, oh God, pandemonium. Anyway, the other guy that I am friends with, who kind of came to my rescue, he's very caring. I mean, he said to me one day, and I started fucking laughing because I was talking to him. He's like, I'm going to bring you lunch tomorrow. I'm going to bring you some sandwiches and some chips and, drinks, whatever. Water, whatever. What do you like to drink? And I said water, because I don't do sugary stuff. He's like, I got you. And he brought me a cooler, and it had 2 gigantic sandwiches in it and some chips and whatever. He goes, you cannot live on gin and soup. Well, he said you can, but it's not healthy. So he is very caring and very forthright, and he dropped it off early in the morning. He goes, I start work at 5:30. What time are you going to work? And he knew who I was, and he knew what I was going through, and he understood, the emotional frustration that I was going through. And I think about him all the time. And he had called, God, when was it? I was injured. He's like, I heard you got hurt. And I was like, yeah, I got hurt. He's like, well, I wanted to see if you needed lunch. And I was like, I feel like a complete asshole. They told me, I got busy. I completely forgot to even call you back. I feel a complete douche. He's like, no, you got a lot going on. He goes, first you got, you trying to get over, heartbreak and bullshit. He goes, and now you're injured, and if you wanted to distract yourself with the stuff that you need to do in your house, you don't have the physical capacities to do it. He goes, and yeah, he goes, I understand where your pain is. He understands. So I sit there and I think about stuff. Now, the one that is very, aggressive and whatnot, I'm a little bit side-eyeing him, just not exactly sure if I want to go that direction with him. I really, he says, hey, I'm going to come over, and it's like, okay, and we go do things, and then, the day that we're free, he's like, poof. He's got other obligation, he's got other responsibilities, he's got kids, things like that. And you know what? I have a child, but she's married and grown, and, he's got little ones that are like, under 16 type of age. And they don't live anywhere near here. He goes out about once a month to go visit them. And he's in a very frustrated situation here. And that is what makes him unattractive, is the problems that he has in his life, his attitude, and the aggressiveness. The aggressiveness of his motorcycle riding style, the aggressiveness of his nuance, the aggressiveness of his temperament, things like that. No, he hasn't done anything directly, toward me to hurt me, but these are the things when you are healed and you learn boundaries and you do your shadow work and you can sit back and be like, you know what? I'm alone, and I appreciate being alone because I don't have to deal with the drama attached to certain personality aspects. He's interested in me, and it's a normal thing. You're in this world, you're a female, and you're a rare breed, basically, and everybody is going to be looking. Some people are going to be a little bit more, audacious and, making it known that they like you. And then there's other people out there who are going to be, You know, like, nah, she wouldn't be interested in me, and they don't even make an attempt, which is probably smart. At least they know themselves. This is the dilemmas that I run into being single, independent, having everything of my own accord, and knowing my daughter is out west and me wanting to relocate. Am I going to have to start over, with my friend circle, my PR? You know, when I get out there, am I going to be so lonely and desperate that I'm just going to end up falling back into the rat trap of the douchebag during COVID that I had gotten hooked up with that abused me so bad and has just literally put me into 2.5 years of reclusion? However, I do have that one individual. If I call him right now and say, I am off this weekend, what are you doing? Nope, I'm ignoring the house. We're going to get on the bikes and we're going to go do something. Yeah. I have another individual out in East or West Tennessee from high school. I could literally call, be like, I will be there at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday. Let's go do something. Problem is, when I break down, open up, people, or men for that matter, seem to think that the only thing that I am calling them for is because I want to get naked and horizontal. And that is not what I want. I have a very male mindset, mentality, kind of intellect. I can talk shop, I can talk engines, I can, me and the aggressive one, literally, we had a meeting a couple weeks ago. He parked in front of me. He's like, let's go get breakfast. So I was like, yeah, that sounds a great idea. As friends. And it felt good just to go as friends. And then he started to express stuff. And it's like, I don't want to go there with you. Nope. Let's go to the pet store. I want to go check out the snakes. Because I have about $2,000 that I want to drop on reptiles and start, I want reptiles for like pets, and I also want to like breed them, possibly. I think it would be fun. And in order to start that, I have to get mice and I have to start breeding colonies so I have food on hand to feed my pets, kind of thing. But my house needs to get clean first. That kind of thing. And he was just tickled when I'd come across this one snake. He was so cute. Oh my God, he was a hatchling. Very young. Maybe 3 months old. And I was like, oh, look at him. He's just like so calm and docile. And he's looking at me like, are you my mother? And I was like, oh, you're so sweet. I'm going to take you home. Anyway, he's like, yeah, he goes, your eyes, when you saw that snake, was just looking at you and you were looking at it and you two bonded. I was like, and it's probably going to get sold. But there was about 6 snakes in that store. I would have just fucking pack them up. They're coming home with me. Right now. But my living arrangement doesn't accommodate. So, but there'll always be more snakes. They're kind of like a dime a dozen. Breeders are coming out the woodwork. Ball python breeding is saturated. I would not be breeding ball pythons because I was thinking about making money from it. I'd be breeding it just because that's something I would enjoy doing. Being a reptile breeder, selling kind of lowballing myself in regard. Some of them might be worth 2,000. I would probably be selling them for 500, just because. You know, what's the point? I'm doing it because I enjoy it. I'm not doing it to make $1 million fucking dollars. That kind of thing. I have my occupational niche. Now earlier today my truck started acting goofy, and I was frustrated as fuck. Calling everybody and their grandmother. What the hell is wrong with this? I said, I swear to God, it was that curb job yesterday. It just pissed off my mixer. Oh, this was stupid. Whatever was going on, I was like, somebody needs to redo something over there. I've never had this much difficulty on one fucking job in all my life. Oh my God, look at the loops on that. Oh, okay, never mind. That's a baby. I gotta crochet you. Yeah, I've been saying that for months and I still haven't gotten it done. Anyway, so yeah, I've got to be back to work. What time is it now? It's 2. Yeah, about 9 hours. I got off in enough time. It's just about 3 o'clock. I should probably get to bed, but I have not eaten yet. I got done at about 1:45. Came home, finished watching a movie. God, it was hilarious, and I'm just chilling. And I figured I'd get on here and let you know that I'm alive. I'm not dead. I'm just rethinking a lot of things, rethinking a lot of my content. Yeah. Trying to give perspective on certain scenarios. I'm pretty sure somebody has run into this where, they've had options. That was in my pocket. Oh. I just snug a check in that earlier so I wouldn't lose it. And you're trying to decide, do I want the good looking guy with the really nice bike who's aggressive and kind of obnoxious, or do I want the not so, he's handsome in his own way, with the older bike who's calm, cool, and collected? And I'm thinking I'm going to go for the latter. I'd rather have someone who's gentle and caring. And after you've been traumatized and abused, looks are not everything. The good looking guy, he's got some pretty nice teeth. This other one, he's got some really gnarly teeth. I don't care. He can get his ass braces, or he can yank them and crown them. Whatever. I gotta pull all mine. My teeth are a mess. Yeah. Yeah, they look good on the surface, but they're not. My brother had the most beautiful teeth, but inside they were just, yeah, they were falling out. No cavities. Just the bone just gone. Anyway. It happens. I know a few people like that. Mine got bad when I was pregnant with my daughter. So I've been kind of tackling this with my dental knowledge for 26 years. And now it's gotten to a point where it's like, you know what? They just keep... I give up. I can brush them, I can floss them, and they still act crazy. And I'm afraid of dentists. Deathly. What I had experienced and witnessed in the dental field, yeah, I'd rather deal with a set of dentures than, yeah. That's how afraid of dentists I am. Just pull them all. Give me a set of cobs, and I don't ever want to fucking deal with y'all. Ever. Because you frighten me. I've seen some dentists who work is like just straight up malpractice and butchery. So, yeah, that's why I don't go to one. So if all my teeth fall out and I end up with a set of dentures, because I've seen some of the most nefarious shit in the dental field that it basically scared me from fucking going and getting my teeth cleaned. Scared to death. I'm not afraid of needles. I'm afraid of the long-term fucking damage. I got a tooth up here. Oral surgeon cracked the root. I ended up with an abscess. That tooth, I could probably pull it out with my fingers. Yeah. This one, doing the same thing. Fucked up dentist. No proper post-op care. They didn't come in and check it. They didn't do any kind of like tissue graft. You know, I've had exposed bone back there for fucking shit since 2009. Yeah. Good old army dentistry. Anyway, I'm going to get me another beer. I'm going to make me something to eat. God, I don't even know what the fuck I want. I'm so tired. I had a migraine for 4 days. It started on like Friday afternoon last week, and it lasted until yesterday. Today is the first day that I have had where I haven't felt like there was a red hot poker going through my temple. And did I call in to work? No, I did not. Yeah. It's called Gen X work ethic. Yeah. We fucking show up. Unless we're bleeding from our eyeballs, we show up. We do the best we can with the ambition that we've got. Anyway, that is all, y'all. Happy Hump Day. Happy Veterans Day to those yesterday. You know, thank you for serving. Pat myself on the back. Someone left a post-it note on my truck window. Thank you for serving. Thank you. It's the only one I got all day long. Family usually calls, messages me, something. You get a word. So, yep. 3 tours, combat. It is what it is, y'all. Peace out.